Państwo, za kilka minut zaczynamy. Prosimy już powoli zajmować miejsca. Za 5 minut.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, we're about to start. Please take your seats. We're going to start in 5 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. We will start in 5 minutes. Уважаемые дамы и господа, пожалуйста, занимайте места. Мы начинаем через несколько минут. Ровно в 12. Tak. Szanowni Państwo, proszę zajmować.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Please take your seats. Уважаемые дамы и господа, пожалуйста, занимайте место. Мы скоро начинаем. Szanowni Państwo, prośba jeszcze o wyciszenie telefonów. Please mute your mobile phones. Prośba wyключить звук w telefonach.
In the summer of 1993, Sergei Kolesnikov and Igor Rybakov friends from the Moscow Institute of Physics and Technology repaired a roof to earn some extra money. They noticed that the construction of the roofs had many flaws that could be fixed. They employed their youthful enthusiasm and technical knowledge to design new roofs. Easy to assemble, reliable, and providing heat insulation for the house. That's how the TechnoNICOL company was born. Today, 25 years later, TechnoNICOL is the largest European manufacturer of roofs, as well as thermo and hydro insulation materials. Over 200 million people around the globe live and work in buildings made with TechnoNICOL materials. We combine our global markets experience with findings from our R&D centers. Thanks to our global reach, our materials are tested in both desert heat and Arctic frosts. They are also an important part of strategic construction projects. And we still remember the reasons why we founded our company a quarter of a century ago. We know that high quality and reliability are the key to make a good insulation system.
Szanowni
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the opening of the mineral wool factory in Wykroty. I would also like to welcome the online viewers, as our event is in hybrid form, both in here and online. A technical issue. We have simultaneous interpretation provided. English is on the second channel, and the Russian is on the third one. So again, to the online viewers, excuse me, you can ask questions right on our chat, and we will convey the questions to our panelists. My name is Tomasz Kołakowski, and I am the host. I have the pleasure of being the host of today's meeting. Let me tell you a story that you know about three pigs. One pig built in hay, the other one in wood, third one built the longest because it has a good resource, the brick. And the two previous brothers laughed at the third pig. Why are you doing this for so long? We're having fun. We can, just rest. And the third pig said, I built a solid house. A solid house with good foundations, with good roof, with a house that is going to be safe. And then when the wolf came, it turned out that the third pig was right, because the wolf huffed and puffed and blew the previous two houses, and all the three pigs find refuge in the brick house. Why I'm talking about it? Because TechnoNICOL company has been building such a safe house, a limitless house, a stable house of brick, a house which is safe and which is warm. And the host of this house is Mr. Sergei Kolesnikov, a co-founder of the company that hopefully will join us in a moment. The plant was created thanks to the advanced modern technology. Thanks to this technology, Sergei Kolesnikov can be joining us today. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm very grateful to the technology, because thanks to that we're able to build in such a way, and we're able to gather and serve people from all around the world. I have not had the pleasure of visiting the plant in Poland, but as far as I can see, and our colleagues tell me, that I can say for sure that this is one of the best plants in our company. It's safe, it's good, and this is the first company of the plant, this is the first plant of the company built entirely in the EU. I would like to thank everyone who contributed to creating it. The plant was built in a very difficult time during the pandemics. The borders were closed, and when we wanted to build, when we wanted to plan, we had problems. So I'm very, very grateful for the construction team, even more. I'm really happy that the plant has already been commissioned and is in operation and makes and sells already our products. I would like to thank all of you, and I welcome you in our TechnoNICOL company. Now we would like to move on to the celebrations, and I would like to invite Ms. Maxim Goryachev, CEO of TN International, and Ken Monroe to join us on stage. And Sergei Kolesnikov, myself, will also be joining, this time offline.
In today's world, coming home is not only an act of return, but also a chance to revive your life. And in that moment, it is important to have a strong shoulder to lean on. Someone you could trust. Someone who could follow you along your journey. When the whole world and thousands of roads are in front of you, which one would you choose to follow next? Would you choose to follow the trodden path, or to bravely step into the unknown? It is then when you will make up your mind to build from the ground up and start a new history to be independent. Taste the new life and build a new home. For TechnoNICOL, home is more than just a country. Our home is where houses are built using TechnoNICOL's materials. And that means that our home is a lot more than half of the world.
Szanowni Państwo, jesteśmy już po...
Ladies and gentlemen, we're past the official opening. I have a remote, so we can continue. Now, we would like to invite you to a story, to a walk in time and space around TechnoNICOL company and all over the world, basically, because we will talk about how the company was created, how it's been developing. There will be 3 guests that we will invite to talk about the whole process from the very foundation, and Sergei Kolesnikov will talk about it, then through development, and this is the role of Maxim Goryachev, and then to philosophy and future, which is going to be described by our Scottish guest, Mr. Ken Monroe, CEO for TN International for Western Europe and North America. First, there was a seed. A small tree grew out of it. Right now, this is a stable oak, a stable foundation of the business of philosophy of TechnoNICOL. How did it all start? Mr. Sergei Kolesnikov will talk about it. So, we're joining you again.
Chwilowe. O, już jest.
Можете начинать.
Sergiej Anatolievich, wam słowa.
Еще раз добрый день. TechnoNICOL — это компания.
Sergey, you can start. TechnoNICOL is a company that was realized by two students. One of the students was I was one of the students. In the past, we were the most, I think, bold students there were, and we knew that we could build such a big company in Poland. 30 years ago, we were just technicians who were building everything using own hands. And we didn't even think that our company will be as profitable as $2 billion. And I'm really happy that today we can realize this dream. TechnoNICOL company has 56 production sites in Germany, Italy, Great Britain, Lithuania, Belarus, Russia, and of course in Poland. We have sales offices in 18 countries, and about 500 million people live and work in homes built with our materials. Millions of people travel on our roads, railways, and tunnels. Well, we cannot count everything. It gives us a lot of responsibility. So we work like that in the future. It's also the matter of treating our co-workers. This is very important for us. We've been always accentuating three most important aspects. So using the best global technologies, we focus on the work of people. We produce good technologically materials, high quality materials, and we guarantee our clients great customer service. We are in Europe since 2001. The first company, the first plant was in Latvia, then we were in Italy, and Poland is the 7th country we enter. For many of us, this is a lucky number. For me, personally, this is a lucky number as well. I would say that plant in Poland is of great significance because this is the first plant that was built in Poland, then in Europe, based on the best technologies. In terms of technologies, we've been looking for a long time a place in the European Union where we would be able to build the plant. We were having conversation with the Czech Republic, for example, but we chose Poland, and it wasn't just the coincidence. Of course, Poland offered us great tax, let's say, profits. We have great infrastructure in Poland, great communication in Poland. And the fact that we are in a really good place, we have a great connection with Germany and the Czech Republic. This is very important. And we also are really happy that we work with Poles, well-educated Poles, hard-working Poles. And of course, I have to admit that we have some problems with finding great people, but we found the best specialists on the market. Of course, I'm not only talking here about Poland, Slovakia, Czech Republic. And I hope that the export will be about 50%. That's our prediction. And we have a very ambitious tasks in front of us. We would like to be a key distributor and provider in the European Union of such materials. We are planning to build big amount of products in the European Union, of our products in the European Union. We want to build 100 million euros in terms of our products. We want also to build a second plant in the European Union. We are here not to divide, but to join. We want to build one big product That will be a great product for everyone. And I hope that our workers will will do everything as I wish they would do, and that we will have a great and happy future, full of successes.
Dear colleagues, thank you very much for your readiness to be here. I'm really glad to talk with you and see you. Well, let me to talk a little bit more about TEN International. TEN International as business and as a team. Well, you know, as Sergei Kolesnikov said, we started our business in 2001 when we bought the first company in Europe, and it was the MIDA plant in Lithuania. The next significant step was taken in 2017. Then we established our division, TEN International, as a special division on TechnoNICOL Global Group, which is responsible for development the international part of our global business. Since then, we have come a very long way. Today, our turnover is 450 million euro, and our team consists of 750 employees. We do business in 170 countries, and we work with people who are our team from 50 of them. So we have made a significant achievement just for these 5 years. And the main secret of our success, of course, is our global TechnoNICOL team, which has a courage to achieve our global goal, made this world better. And here we are led by our mission to make high quality, reliable, and efficient construction materials and solutions available to everyone around the world. For us, it's not just a set of buzzwords. We really believe that we can do it, not alone, but together with other companies, we really can change the face of our industry to make our world better. And for ourselves, personally, we have defined the most transformative ideas which lead us forward and help us to navigate in this new and very changing world. We call them pillars of business. And we believe that modern company as TechnoNICOL International must be diverse, must be digital, and must be dynamic. Let's talk a little bit about diversity. Being diverse is being different. For us, there are 3 dimensions of diversity: team, products, and geography. As I said, we are people from 15 countries. We are very different. Look around, please. We are people from different cultures. We use different languages. We have different views and opinions, different experience. But we work together because we are joined by mutual purpose. And we respect each other, and we use the same ethical principles. And here, the key element of our success. We are going forward, and we achieve goals which we want to achieve. The second dimension of diversity is products. Thanks to TechnoNICOL long and extensive experience, we know how to produce the wide variety of different products. And we developing them, improving them every year in our R&D centers. Every year we create something new. Every year we offer that new type of products to our clients. And this plant is not an exception. I believe that this plant will give us additional opportunities for creation of a unique product. The third dimension of diversity is geography. As I said previously, we are working in 170 countries in the world. And the main goal for us here to be as close as possible to our clients in order to offer full range of our products and services. And the Polish plant is a part of this plan, because I'm sure that today we are happy to open up a new opportunity for all our customers in the center of Europe. And I want to ensure you, as our clients, you will get the best service which can be delivered today. Well, I don't think it would surprise you if I said that in terms of development, the construction industry one of the lowest one. The situation with digitalization was only in one industry, and which is the fishing industry. So we have a huge opportunity for development. And we literally surround these huge options and opportunities how to make your business more efficient. And we actually consider digitalization as an efficient tool for increasing our efficiency in terms of communication, in terms of production, and in terms of development. So we are implementing numbers of different digital projects right now. For example, one of them is a special client portal which will allow our clients to get all the necessary information about their orders, their prices, their transactions and payment immediately online. It will definitely help them to have more time. They can focus on their own goals and tasks. This portal will help them get rid from unnecessary communication and help us to give them all our services just in their laptop or smartphone. We use many digital technologies in our production, and I hope that today during our virtual tour you will see at least some of them in this new Polish plant. So, being dynamic from our point of view is like a set of main principles. I will call 5 of them. Being dynamic is being a company which focus only on long-term relationship with clients, partners, and employees. Being a company which try to do our best, and we promise to supply only the best and modern products to our clients. Being a company which is sustainable and use only modern and friendly, efficient, environment-friendly technologies for our production. Being the company which encourage their employees to have right attitude to environment. And of course, it's being a company which is challenging itself constantly in order to create powerful, creative, and highly motivated team. If you look at this slide, you can see the picture or map, let's say, of TEN International. And you can see we have 7 production facilities, we have 5 service centers, and we have more than 750 employees today. This plant is not the end of our investment program in Poland. And the good news that we are not going to stop here. I promise we will develop our business. We will have new project in Poland. We will develop our business in other countries too. Actually, we are going to double our business in the next few years. Well, I would like to invite you to join us as clients, as partners, as employees, and share our future success with us. And now, if we start talking about long-term partnership, I would like to invite my colleague, Ken Monroe, join me and tell you a very exciting story.
Thank you, Maxim, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's really good to be here. It's really good to see people after the last 18 months in reality, sat in a room. It's excellent. So I'm excited to be here. What a story we have. Every time I hear it, although I've been part of it for the last 5 years, I'm really impressed with the progress that we've made as a business in 25 years to become a company of the complexity and the scale that we are now. And so Sergei has given you an outline of the beginning of the journey, and Maxim has spoken about progress and development, but as always, I get the exciting part of the presentation. I get to speak about the future. I get to speak about our philosophy. I get to speak about where we are going. Sergei's spoken about where we came from. Maxim's spoken about what we've become. and I now get to take you forward into the next chapter of our journey. So what's the future going to look like for TechnoNICOL? How do we bring all of this progress and development together? How do we learn from all of our experiences? How do we bring all of this creativity and innovation together? Well, it's going to be a fusion of science and art. It's going to be a mixture of creativity and empirical data. It's going to be a balance between our history and our exciting ambitions for the future. And we have an expression for this. We call it TNology. And TNology is really a bridge to our future. It's a summary of our key principles that will guide us. And as I stand in front of you this morning, I can say, my name is Ken Munro, and I'm proud to be a TNologist. And I know that there are some in the room here who are equally excited about the journey that we're on. So essentially, TNology is the essence of who we are and who we are going to be. But sometimes culture and philosophy can be slightly vague and esoteric. And I want to say that we have 4 strong pillars for our future culture, philosophy, and direction. And we summarize them around about protection, sustainability, integration, and around about all of those, excellent customer service. And underpinning that is our belief, our responsibility as a company. We are a responsible company, our capacity and our commitment. So this is not some kind of airy-fairy notion about where we're going. It's built on 4 solid pillars. Now, in the UK, we say, let's put some meat on the bone. Let's flesh this out. What does this really mean? What does protection mean to TN International? How does it play a part in TNology? Well, I think it's really about passion, it's around about principles, and it's about products. You say passion? Yeah. We believe that we can elevate our mission to a higher level. We believe that our core mission is to build excellent construction, to invest in excellence in building. And we believe that that elevates our story to a much higher level. Principles. The principle of great project execution and excellence. And thirdly, products. I'm sure that you know that we have unique scale. We have over 3,000 SKUs. And it's our mission to bring them together in systems and solutions that are aligned to customer need. So, TNology in terms of protection is all about passion, it's all about principles, and it's about products. But then, as we move on, sustainability. You may say protection is surely the most important thing, Ken. Well, frankly, I don't think so. I think sustainability will become the focus of great companies over the next decade. Everybody I speak to, you maybe can test this in Poland, in the UK and Scotland, everybody I speak to says, my next car will be an electric car. Maybe it's not the same in Poland, but I can tell you across most of Europe, that's what they say. You know, it's my ambition that the same people will say, my next house will have TN insulation. Let's hope it becomes as equally ubiquitous. So, sustainability is absolutely critical to our future. It's in our heart, it's at the center of everything that we do. It's also in our head. It's part of our thinking. It's part of our philosophy. It's part of our culture as we move forward. And I hope it's going to be in all of our homes. It's in our heart, it's in our head, and I trust that here in Poland there are going to be highly energy efficient homes. This is our ambition. Then we need to bring things together. What is integration about? Integration is about internal and external collaboration. It's about joining the dots. It's about bringing great products together with our culture, our ambition, all of the things that we've covered at the right time with great service for our customers. It's aligning everything that we do to customer need. It's really about adding value to our customers' business. And if you want to take one phrase away today, that is our mission, to add value to our customers' business. We believe that we come from an elevated place in terms of our mission of protection, but we also believe we can add value to our customers' business. And then wrapping it all up is world-class customer service. I said that protection was important, sustainability is important. I believe this will be the battleground over the next 10 years for excellent companies, delivering fantastic service. And we want to wrap up protection and sustainability and all of the other values that we've embraced with fantastic service. And that is our mission as we build out our service centre structure across Europe. So, it's about protection. It's about sustainability. It's about integration, both internal and external. It's about world-class service, embracing all of these values. So this is our summary of TechnoNICOL. What does TechnoNICOL really mean? It means that our growth is going to be driven by consistency. Our ambitions are going to be built on environmental stability. Our desire to add value is going to be driven by our technology and our focus on integration. And it's all going to be driven by dynamism, diversity, and by our digital capability. You know, I really believe as I look outside that the new plant is an embodiment. It's an incarnation of TechnoNICOL. All of the values that we have spoken about today are evidenced out there in the new plant. And therefore, it's with pleasure that I cue up this next video, which will just, I hope, give some more colour to our mission as TN and to TechnoNICOL in the direction in which we're travelling. And it's been a delight to be here with you all this afternoon. Thank you.
We're already one of the biggest construction materials companies in the world. A company built on knowledge, experience, and craftsmanship. A name that has protected millions of people in their homes, schools, and workplaces for over 25 years. A business which manufactures an expansive and diverse range of products with world-class production facilities and a strong focus on training and development. We are TechnoNICOL. Now as we extend into the wider world, into countries in every continent on our planet, our brand needs to evolve and adapt to have the right global presence. We need an international brand that shows we are proud of who we are and where we've come from, that reflects our standing as a dynamic worldwide business, that represents what we stand for as a modern, diverse organization, such as sustainable, waste-free production, to protect our future for generations. Our new logo shows our established mark consistently across all our markets the world over. Like many global companies, it abbreviates our name to transcend languages and cultures and be better understood and more easily recognized. It's an identity that's been constructed with the same precision and care shown in our manufacturing, and it represents everything we stand for. We are innovative, with products using advanced science to create the buildings of tomorrow. We are integrated, providing solutions that work together to protect the whole building envelope. We are intelligent, using our ingenuity to make the world better for everyone. We are TN International.
Szanowni Państwo,
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now, let's say, in the middle of our presentations. You saw how the company acts globally and thinks globally, but not only globally, also locally. 700 million euro of investments from Władywostok to Polony, many 100 million euro in Poland. This is a first type of such investment in Poland, greenfield investment in Poland. It never has been such an investment, especially here in Lower Silesia. This is a place that is not chosen on accidentally. It was chosen on purpose. TN International chose it because they thought carefully about it. Now I would like to ask Mr. Piotr Bonarski. Piotr Bonarski will talk about something very significant about the human factor in building the company.
witam.
I would like to welcome everyone. As a host and the director of the place, I would like to tell you why I believe in people. But before that, please watch a short film. 2 years in a very short form. Let's say 2 years in a nutshell. I will begin from the text of the song, Polish song. There is a field and only a field, empty field, and actually it happened like that. We began from the field that was empty, that was without anything, and we created TechnoNICOL, mineral wool plant. Why Wykroty? I think that there were many reasons for that, but Michał will tell you about the reasons, and Roman will tell you about the reasons as well. But I will tell you about the beginnings. We started in Wrocław, where there were first meetings with our subcontractors, with the general contractor, the first meetings and, let's say, job interviews with our future employees. It all started in Wrocław, but Wrocław was far away, so we moved from the Wrocław to Nowogrodziec, and we had office next to the mayor, let's say, house, and we were managing everything from Nowogrodziec. That's why here we built a construction town to manage all construction and installation work from this place, from Wykroty. Actually, everything was successful. We had a lot of meetings, a lot of visits. In March 25, 2021, we melted for the first time the rock and the stone, and we, let's say, opened our first private volcano. It wasn't an easy task. If you think that commissioning of the furnace is an easy task, you're probably wrong. Because we've experienced many different problems. But we didn't worry, because we were going for the success. A pandemic in the world, well, stopped the world, actually. We stayed home and the world stayed home, but we couldn't stop. We couldn't stay home. So 1 year before an official opening, there were many restrictions introduced, and we needed to stay home. There was a lockdown. So how to build a plant? Via text messages? Oh, yes, this is how we did it. We had to physically stay home. We had to divide our team into smaller parts so we would be able to work in a safe way. But we really, really wanted to be integrated, to be together. So we met every day, actually, on Microsoft Teams, online. And it made us together. We were together. Of course, there were some critical moments. And we thought they may stop us. One of our employees, our general contractor, was positive in terms of COVID-19. Problems with accommodation for our team. They were coming from other plants to visit us, and of course they had problem during the lockdown. But thanks to technologies, thanks to different solutions, we overcame such problems, and we were so proud of it. If you're looking about the timeline of the construction of the plant, some points seem to be more important than the others. December 2019, when the pandemic, let's say, was going through the world, we signed the agreement with the general contractor. In January 2020, we started earthworks, and again in March 2020, we had to stay home. But it didn't stop us, because in May 2020, we built some kind, or installed the furnace, the heart of our plant. In October 2020, we updated our project, and in January 2021, we obtained an occupancy permit. March 2021, it's a very, very significant month for us and time for us. March 25th will always be a date in the plant remembered, the birthday of the plant. How it looked like? Let's see the film. Actually, it's just the beginning because the stage of the project, building the plant, has finished, but we started a new stage that will last forever. Operational stage. In March this year, we received a great support from colleagues from Russia. They came here to help us open the plant. In April this year, we had an audit of certification bodies to receive CE mark for the line and for our products. We managed to do it in May to obtain CE, and in June 2021, 17 products were already sold with CE mark in the European Union. In July 2021, colleagues from Russia left. Thank you to all plant managers. So our colleagues from Russia left us. We were alone. But in August 2021, we received the best result ever. 6,200 tons of wonderful, great product, high-quality product. Today, this is the official opening, but we're going for the record. We will have more and more successes. Do we have problems? Of course, but they create possibilities according to Kaizen theory. Safety is the most important to us. And remember, safety first. And that's why we obtain CE for the entire line. It wasn't an easy task to find great employees, but as TechnoNICOL, we give sure employment for uncertain times. We have great cooperation with our plants in Russia. We're proud of that. We're happy that we have this cooperation. And now we are concentrating on improving the service day. To improve maintenance days so that we would as effectively as possible use our time for work and not for stopover. What are the features of the successes? What are the components of our success? We really want to be successful. We are willing to be successful. But it's not only anything about wanting. We need to know how to do it. So that's why we organize daily meetings and rounds. We build a team together. We see the same. We want to see the same. And we want to tell it to each other, yes, I know how to do it. We discuss the previous project. We discuss our failures because it's really worth talking to say, yes, I can do it. I have this know-how of create the stone wool. I know how to do it. And the human being, without people, the plant wouldn't exist. Without us, without people, there wouldn't be any necessity for such a plant. Behold the man. We are here because of man, because of people. We overcame pandemics together and individually. And my personal, reflection, I've been thinking about it for the 2 years. My strength as a manager is in my people. In people I cooperate with, I work with. They give me strength that I wake up every day and fight with the challenges. But they give me strength to be happy of my successes and of our successes. That's why, thank you. This is a great thank you to you. And please remember, I believe in you. I believe in people. I would like to finish my speech, but at the same time, I would like to invite you to the tour around the plant. Again, virtual, unfortunately, but I hope that thanks to this tour, you will see how we manufacture stone wool.
Witajcie, nazywam się Piotr Bonarski. Mam przyjemność być dyrektorem zakładu TechnoNICOL Insulation. Chciałbym Wam bardzo krótko opowiedzieć, jak wygląda proces produkcji wełny skalnej. Chodźmy. Wszystko zaczyna się od skały gabbro-bazaltowej, dolomitów, które topimy w ogromnym piecu w naszej fabryce. Wszystkie odpady, jakiekolwiek powstaną w naszej fabryce, są przetwarzane w osobnym budynku, tak zwanej brykieciarni, w której powstaje brykiet, a on trafia razem z innymi skałami do naszego pieca. Skała trafia do tej budowli za moimi plecami, gdzie w odpowiednich silosach układamy dolomit, bazalt, koks jako nośnik energii, a potem materiał jest ważony i przy użyciu podajnika zasypywany do pieca. Wchodzimy teraz do strefy serca naszego zakładu. Szybko przemykamy przez piec. Tu naprawdę jest gorąco. Przemknęliśmy szybko przez piec. Temperatura wewnątrz to 1400-1500 stopni. Jesteśmy teraz blisko pomieszczenia kontrolnego, z którego odbywa się sterowanie sercem naszej fabryki, czyli piecem i zasypem materiału wsadowego. Stopiona skała w postaci lawy wylewa się na centryfugę i jest rozdmuchiwana przez powietrze. Następnie ogromny bęben zbiera przygotowane włókna w postać szarego dywanu. Szary dywan jest rozprowadzany dzięki wahadłu w postać przygotowaną do polimeryzacji. Przygotowana wełna wjeżdża do pieca polimeryzacyjnego, w którym temperatura sięga 250-300 stopni. Tam odbywa się proces krystalizowania się wełny w postać, jaką znamy. Ekologia jest dla nas bardzo ważna, tak jak już to mówiłem. Wszelkiego rodzaju niebezpieczne gazy przepuszczamy przez dopalacz, filtry i dopiero jako czyste powietrze rzucamy do atmosfery. Gotowa wełna, skrystalizowana i przygotowana do strefy pakowania, wyjeżdża tutaj w temperaturze około 80 stopni i w tym miejscu jest chłodzona. Możemy teraz podejść do pomieszczenia kontrolnego, który steruje całą linią. Jesteśmy w centrum dowodzenia. Tu dzieją się najważniejsze procesy. Tu siedzi kierownik zmiany. Tu wiemy dokładnie, jaki produkt jest produkowany, jak jest cięty i jak pakowany. Dziękuję i przepraszam. Z control roomu przechodzimy na obszar cięcia i pakowania. Tu gotowy dywan jest cięty i przygotowywany do pakowania. Po obszarze cięcia przygotowany materiał jest pakowany w folię, a następnie przygotowywany i pakowany w folię stretch hood. W naszym zakładzie w zasadzie pracuje niewiele ludzi, dlatego że większość procesów jest w pełni zautomatyzowanych. Naszym celem jest produkowanie najlepszych produktów i systemów budowlanych na świecie. Dlatego wejdziemy teraz do laboratorium jakości, a tam dzieją się magiczne rzeczy. Na chwilę obecną certyfikowanych mamy 17 produktów. Na wszystkie pozyskaliśmy certyfikat CE. Wszelkiego rodzaju badania wymagane przez tą certyfikację odbywają się właśnie w tych pomieszczeniach. Produkcja produkcją, ale gdy Polak głodny, to zły. Oczywiście mamy też fantastyczną kantynę. Teraz znajdujemy się w przestrzeni biurowej, gdzie pracują również działy takie jak księgowość, jak dział personalny, jak dział technologiczny, jak dział logistyki, bo te wszystkie procesy mają wpływ na naszą produkcję. A tutaj jest moje biuro. Gotowy produkt już przygotowany.
To my own child, my own son, and of course I try to be as simple as possible. What the product is, how do you use it? I learned about the product and about myself quite a lot. I got to the conclusion that I'm embodying the product. I'm trying to convince him that the product is something good, and I will try to do the same with you. So, just as TechnoNICOL, as one of the principles, there are 3 values at its core: knowledge, experience, and expertise, then in my assessment, in my opinion, stone wool is also based on three important pillars: ecology, safety, and comfort or convenience. Ecology that pertains not only to people who live on the earth right now, but also future generations. Buildings that we are creating today are designed also with future generations in mind. That is why, when implementing a construction process, it's so important to have a correct approach, to have a responsible approach, and choose consciously. One of the choices could be using biodegradable material, such as wool, that in 97% consists of stone, just as Tomek showed you a moment ago. 3% are organic substance that create an adhesive part of the stone wool. But it's not about that. It's also important, how do you create it? The plant that we're visiting right now is the most modern, state-of-the-art, environmentally friendly place. All the waste is brought back into the process. Unfortunately, one of the most common reasons of construction disasters are fires. Our products got the A1 certificate class, which means that they are completely inflammable products. Stone wool, even in 800 degrees Celsius, doesn't melt, doesn't burn, doesn't emit smoke or heat. That is why it is used everywhere where safety, especially fire safety, is the most important, is of paramount importance. Then moving on to comfort. In terms of stone wool, its comfort stems from its properties. It can be defined in many ways, but let's focus on the most important. Starting from steam transparent permeability, thanks to which we can avoid fungi or any other unpleasant smells and color discolorations. Then, of course, soundproofing is very important properties. And then its great heat properties, heat conducting properties are also important. Some people may say that there are better materials, maybe in some categories, but none of other products fulfill all these three parameters so completely, so well. That is why stone wool is such an important material in construction. I would even dare to say that stone wool is a complete, comprehensive material in this respect. Of course, we have a broader scope of products in our portfolio that we sell both in Poland, in the domestic market, and other European countries. If we managed to create so much in 6 months from from commissioning this plant, well, it would be even sinful, almost sinful, to stop here. That is why our products will be available at all the key markets in Europe. That is why, and to conclude, I wanted to bring back the first question I mentioned. My son's curiosity and determination should be an example to all of us. Having that in mind, let's try to make correct, mature and responsible decisions, not only making choice about our materials that we use, but also in our everyday life. Thank you very much, and let's take a look at a short video that shows the properties of stone wool.
Michał Sobierajski.
Michał Soberajski, thank you for the presentation. We know that people are the most important. We got to know the product, but do you know why in this place actually the plant was created? Why the Russian company invested in the Lower Silesia region? They had offers from Germany, the Czech Republic, but they decided to build a plant in the heart of Europe. Of course, it's because of the great infrastructure. But I would like to ask Roman Chmielewski, the president of TNT Poland, the head of TNT Poland, to tell us why Poland was the place chosen. Good morning, everyone. I would like to welcome everyone. I am responsible for the trade and development of TechnoNICOL Poland. So let's talk about our choice in Poland. I'm from Latvia, but I was born in Poland. I'm Lithuanian, but I moved to Lithuania, where I studied. I studied international trade and German studies, and for 15 years I've been working in international corporation, TechnoNICOL, which today is opening the new plant in Poland. My bio, my life, is a proves that many actually experiences, many countries combine into one company, the company that doesn't have borders, the company whose aim is to provide heat, warmth to your children, wives, to your families, to your husbands, irrespectively of your country where you live in. The company that builds today a great European global home that is comfortable to everyone, that makes everyone feel safe. Why Poland? Why to open this high-quality, state-of-the-art plant in Poland? Wasn't a talk. Many years of hard work, and then we chose Poland and Lower Silesia, Kamieniogórska zone and Wykroty, because of many reasons. First of all, Polish economy is very strong. Stable economically, not only compared to neighboring countries, but also compared to the Europe. This is a stable economically country. Polish economy is more and more integrated with global economy. It has been growing in a constant way for 25 years. This is the sixth biggest economy in the European Union. Of course, it proves the fact that in 2010, in 2008 and 10, during this great crisis in Europe, Poland was the only green island in Europe. And today, after the pandemics, Poland gained a lot. Poland suffered maybe during the pandemics, but then the Polish economy boosted by 11%. We cannot forget that Poland is the biggest beneficiary of the European Union funds. And in the nearest future, we will receive about 137 million euro from the European Union that Poland does not have to return. So the strength of Polish economy, the first reason we chose Poland. Then the infrastructure and location of Poland. Poland is actually located in the heart of Europe. So here a lot of roads crosses from the north to the south, from the east to the west. S3 motorway will connect Scandinavia with Greece. Of course, Poles are happy about it. So this broad grid of motorways, today there are 4,270 kilometers, which makes us the fifth in the European Union. 15 years ago, it wouldn't be possible. It wouldn't be imaginable. But what I would like to tell you more about our choice, so the third reason we chose Poland is that you actually encourage to invest in Poland. You're ambitious, you're well educated, you're entrepreneurial, and I would say hardworking. And this is the most important aspect of Poles. 92% of Poles between the years of 20 to 60 has higher education, at least higher education. 1.3 million students there are now in Poland, which makes us the fourth place in Europe in terms of the number of students. What differentiates our system of university system? We have a lot of students, science, technology, engineering, mathematics. There are many, many students studying such faculties, on such faculties. Poland is one of the best choices for investors. But why are we here in Wykroty? Lower Silesia is one of the three most attractive investment regions in Poland. But it has advantage over other regions because of its location, its neighboring Czech Republic, Germany. I'm not going, of course, to mention the importance of these neighbors. In Lower Silesia, there are a lot of clusters, association, commercial chambers, technological parks, and so on and so forth. I could, name them all, but I wouldn't have time. We are actually submitting, applying to many of these organizations. And Wykroty are the Kamiennogórska special zone, which cares about the development on this wonderful region. This economic zone has been very successful recently, so we are happy to know that we're working with the best. We work with the local community. So with Tadeusz już is giving us another project. And we will be building based on this cooperation next projects. That's why we will create hundreds of workplaces. Construction standards are higher and higher. Being eco-friendly, being sustainable, these are very important indicators that decide about the choice of the client. So the clients look at these aspects. Of course, we want to give you warmth, we want to give you heat, so we will actively be a part of thermoregulation of Poland. We will fight for the clean air for you and for your children. Thank you very much. So please watch a short film about our regional cooperation.
Początki to jest 2018 rok. To jest okazanie gruntu, bo tak wygląda proces cały lokowania inwestora i udzielania pomocy publicznej. W konkluzji inwestor wybiera grunty zlokalizowane na obszarze naszej działalności, Nowogrodziec, Wykroty. I tak to się zaczęło. Był to wzorzec prowadzonych negocjacji.
Ochrona środowiska, do której przyczynia się TechnoNICOL przez nowoczesne rozwiązania technologiczne, stawia nas na czele wśród partnerów, którzy szerzej patrzą na rozwój i jakość życia. Obecność TechnoNICOL-u dla nas, można powiedzieć, jest swoistym wyróżnieniem. Dzisiaj już wiem, że przedsiębiorstwo zatrudnia 7 000 ludzi i na pewno tych następnych będzie zatrudniać w naszej gminie, z czego bardzo się cieszymy.
Co robiło wrażenie na mnie? Obroty roczne przekraczające 1 miliard euro. Ze względu na pozycję dużego gracza gospodarczego zależało nam, żeby go mieć u siebie, żeby mieć go w specjalnej strefie ekonomicznej.
Jestem przekonany, że wspólnie ten sukces osiągniemy. Jesteśmy w jednym wspólnym domu, mamy nad sobą dach i będziemy go trzymać i dźwigać, żeby pod tym dachem w tym wspólnym domu po prostu nam się dobrze żyło i żeby ta przyszłość była dla nas możliwie jak najlepsza.
Samej firmie życzę, żeby te przychody, które były deklarowane, zostały zrealizowane jak najszybciej. No i czego bym sobie życzył? Kolejnych tego rodzaju przedsięwzięć na terenie działalności Kamiennogórskiej Specjalnej Strefy Ekonomicznej.
Dziękujemy. To jest część, która się kończy, czyli
Thank you. This is the part that is actually has been finished from Moscow, Scotland and Poland. And now, ladies and gentlemen, a short break. We need to rearrange the floor and we will talk about the construction market in Poland with our experts. We will talk about the boom, construction boom in Poland, and about thermo modernization in Poland. And of course, we will discuss the TechnoNICOL philosophy because it is a big part of this change in Poland in terms of thermal insulation. TechnoNICOL now. Michał Sobierajski, the manager, product manager. We will connect online with Mr. Artur Bednarski. And I would like to ask Mr. Jarosław Kuzar, izolacje.pl, editor, the editor-in-chief of the portal.
Ja jeszcze przypomnę.
So I will remind our online guests to the possibility about asking the question. We have such a possibility because after the discussion panel we will have a Q&A section. So we can think about you can think about the questions now.
Jest z nami gość online.
We have our guests online. Can you hear us? Yes. Artur Bednarski, Polish Association of Roofers. Polish Association of Roofers. So if you can speak loudly because there's a problem with the microphone. So let's talk about construction market in Poland. Do you think that construction boom was for you a surprise? I have to tell you that no, I wasn't surprised because why? Why not? TechnoNICOL is always prepared for such surprises. So even this time we were prepared for what happened with this construction boom. Of course, there were some problems, but as I mentioned before, we are always prepared to support our business partners, to support our clients. And I can tell you that, yes, we were prepared for the boom. We were managing, we support all our contractors and subcontractors, and it gave us strength and hope for the better tomorrow. Thank you. Good morning. I would like to thank you at the beginning for invitation, congratulate to everyone who contributed to building the plant. This plant in the pandemic's time wasn't easy, so congratulations. Also in the context of the construction boom, because you can't imagine a better timing than now. Of course, the construction boom makes producers happy, makes thermal insulation producers happy, but it is also associated with the fact that today the demand is higher than the supply. So today we will have maybe some problems because we need to adjust to the market, and perspectives for the Polish market in terms of using thermal insulation will increase every year annually. It is associated with building new buildings, and it is associated with modernization of old buildings. Mr. Artur, would you like to add something? Yes, I would like to thank you for the invitation to taking part, to having be a part of the conference. I have to agree with my previous speakers because the situation on the construction market is very, very good despite the COVID. So I wish myself and I wish you that everything will be going in such direction that we will maintain status quo and that we won't have problems. And if we even have problems, we will react to them. Okay, so let's continue the topic of being construction boom. Was it because of disturbed supply chain, or maybe the willingness?
Said about, and it was very interesting. A lot of the construction designs and projects that happen. A lot of projects were negotiated and approved also online, and carried on different digital means. So that was a huge step for the construction industry in Poland, I think. And of course the pandemics sparked it. And I think your company is the best example here, and the construction of this beautiful plant. Yeah, just in time, as it is often said. I think that a lot of our loyal partners know that they can count on us, and they know that we're building stable foundations for cooperation here in the country that will benefit both sides, of course. Intuition is very important in business, and timing as well, so that you know when to enter the market. Of course, as we say in Poland, luck favors the best. But I think it is confirmed. Question to Mr. Bednarski. I think solid foundation is the most important, right? And the roof over your head. Would you say that there are any changes in terms of roof construction or roof building in general? Well, of course there are changes, but let me start from a side note. And that we discussed, digitalization. I was invited to participate in the conference by the organization that conducts pro-educational activities. So it was surprising because we moved a lot to online, to the internet. Conducting business can be done online, but in terms of education, well, that was a bit fossilized industry as well. And on one hand, of course, we have those companies that use the most effective tools to conduct business, to adjust their products to their customers. On the other hand, we have craftspeople who perform their work with traditional methods, and they can't be so easily moved online. Of course, you can't build a roof online, for that matter. From the perspective of craftspeople, I wanted to get back to the education industry. Polish Association of Roofers tries to popularize the craft. We try to encourage the youth to continue, because there is always work in such industry. So it's interesting that students who learn at vocational schools and technical high schools encountered a situation in which they had to learn online, also the practical aspects of their craft. Of course, you can guess, as you can guess, probably it was. It negatively impacted the level of their education, but I hope that we won't have another wave of pandemics and the online education won't come back to us. Hopefully, we will be able to get back to face-to-face contacts. Let me just add that TN International Poland joined the project that that my predecessor just talked about about popularizing the profession of roofer and other professions. So hopefully the problems will not be as severe. Such problems will not be as severe. Moving on, what kind of challenges do you see in terms of the current situation, but also the market development, the more and more conscious consumers that want to use ecologically friendly products that are both not detrimental to the environment but also produced without any environmental impact? To answer to your question, I think I need to introduce what I'm going to say. Talking about modernization of old old construction industry, we need to take it into account in terms of so-called deep thermal insulation. All the ecological challenges, environmental challenges, force us to look at the product from the beginning of its production, from through its application, up until the moment the product is, well, deconstructed or stops being useful, let's say. So thermal modernization, due to ecological reasons, should not only be changing the heating systems or thermal insulation of the building, but we also need to modernize the AC, the heating, the cooling systems as well. This should also be joined with renewable energy sources, which is a very important element, and I think we'll have a lot to learn here in Poland about that, and that would lead us to a situation where all of these aspects are integrated. The result, the ideal situation, is that all of these aspects are integrated, and the building created in such a way will be fully modern, as it is dictated by the modern standards. Gentlemen, in terms of environmental aspect in choosing the material, I think we need to remember about production process. The best example here, I think, is our company that is modern. Our plant is modern and is environmentally friendly. This last notion is understood in many aspects. Choosing raw material or resources, for example, plastic foil should be biodegradable, recycling should be implemented, and the whole plant is based on that ideology and philosophy. All the waste that is produced in the plant is then brought back circularly into our operations. So we are, let's say, ecologically friendly 2.0. And then providing materials to the construction site, we need to remember that we cooperate with our suppliers, our clients. We take some waste from our clients and suppliers, like pallets, for example. So we also take care of that. And we're looking at the notion of being friendly to the environment a bit broader than a lot of companies. When I spoke with Sergei Kolesnikov, he pointed my attention to the fact that the company has negotiated numerous times in terms of acquisition, but they decided to create the plant from the scratch because they wanted to use the most modern standards, most modern technologies. This was the most beneficial to the company in the long-term perspective. So let me just add to that in the worldwide mass media, right now there is a fashion to talk about environment, about global warming, about environment protection. And we're increasingly teaching our consumers about the environment. That's why our consumers may choose more consciously environmentally friendly products. The products that will allow to have a better life for our children, not necessarily for us. So as a TechnoNICOL, we are ready to meet that challenge, to face these concerns. And we know that our clients also choose environmental products more and more often. That is why we're going to provide products to our customers that are more green. Thank you. Roman Milewski mentioned in his speech that the TechnoNICOL has a mission to be part of thermal modernization of Poland. And I think in Poland, it's a buzzword right now. We hear about it all the time in media. Is it a necessary project? And what kind of opportunity it gives for thermal insulation products producer? Well, let me give you some facts about, that are well known for the public. The most recent data shows that in order for us to be environmentally neutral, we need to modernize old buildings, first and foremost. In Poland, in terms of multiple family residential buildings, it's not that bad. I would say a dozen thousands of buildings needs to be modernized. But in terms of single family housing, the number is estimated to be 4 million. 4 million houses in Poland requires deep thermal modernization. If we want to achieve we want to be neutral by 2050, divide this number by 28 months. 28 years, and that will give you an exorbitant number of how many houses we should modernize a day, a month. It's a great number. So it shows the needs that we have in this respect, and how should we direct our actions so that at least part of these plans can be implemented.
Dodam, że wydajność
I only add that the efficiency of the plant in Wykroty, 90,000 of tons of mineral wool in Poland, it helps to insulate 30,000 of houses annually. Of course, the time is beneficial to the company, and we will increase these numbers. Yes, in terms of TechnoNICOL, it's not a secret that it's not the only plant of stone wool in Poland. Of course, there are many other plants like that in Poland. So we are thinking about new investments, as managers mentioned before, and so we are thinking of the future. And the plan actually is our investment in the future. Thank you. Again, a question to Mr. Artur Bednarski. Is it difficult to encourage young people, not only young people, but just people, to come back to professions that in the 1990s started dying, like roofers, like qualified line operators? Is it a great challenge to encourage young people to do such professions, or maybe young people do it willingly? Unfortunately, the situation is not very positive. There is a big problem with acquiring people who want to be specialists in these professions, who want to educate in vocational schools. Why? There are some stereotypes about such professions, mainly that the vocational schools in the past was perceived by the society as something worse than university, for example. That's why aspirations to get something more in life were quite common among people, and they went first to high school, then they started universities, and they didn't choose vocational school. That we created the project Roofer, the profession of the future, and TechnoNICOL will support us in this project. We're happy that the company will support us, but the Roofer and the profession of the future project is to show others that this job is not as difficult as you can think, that technology support workers in their daily tasks. Today, in terms of the roofers, there's a very popular stereotype that roofers do not mixes tar in the tank. This is not, done manually. This is done by the machine. But of course, this is the perception of these professions that is present in the society in Poland, in terms of his difficulties, in terms of labor work. Well, now it's not the case, because we have lifts, we have many other equipment, many other devices, that even women want to choose this profession of a roofer, and hopefully in the future this roof will have biggest pirated. So I encourage all women to become roofers. Of course, in terms of the project, we cooperate with vocational schools to promote the profession. We take part in many opening days at schools or at fairs. We have promotional campaigns online in the press, and we want to be as promoted as possible, as popular as possible. But the breakthrough from the project was the ending of the last year, when to respond to the need of the educational sector, and even to the need of students and their parents, Polish Association of Roofers submitted a motion to the Ministry of Higher Education to create a new profession, a technician, roofer technician. In the construction industry, we lack professional roofers, but we also have more demand for highly qualified workers, that they would be able not only to work on the construction side, but that they would be able to manage logistics, manage people, deal with price lists, and manage price lists, technical drawings, and so on and so forth. So January 27th this year was a moment in which we finished the project. So the profession of a roofer became on the list on the Ministry of Higher Education officially, and it was marked as a profession of high importance and high significance in Poland. And of course, now we count on the Ministry of Higher Education to help us to build to deal with it further. But that's not the aim of the conference. I'm not going to bore you about the project the roofer of the future. If you want to get more information, you can find everything online. Of course, we need to have passion. What are other challenges we can talk about? Dariusz, as a regional manager, do you see regional differentiation in terms of materials? Yes, there was a regular division of Poland into places where this demand for material was higher, and there were other regions where the demand was lower. But I can tell you that for several months this demand is flattening. So this eastern wall that has always been recognized as less developed is now keeping up. There are many centers that are being built in the eastern part of Poland, that there are many facility centers. Construction market is increasing in the eastern Poland. So to answer your question, of course, the places are developing. These places, this part of Poland are developing. Eastern part of Poland is developing. Okay, so now questions from our audience, online participants. So please ask some questions. We are waiting for your questions, comments. To finish, I would like to ask you, as experts in construction market, do you think that the turbulences associated with the disruption of the supply chain, like styrofoam price has increased, do you think that will be the problem of the future? Or do you think that these problems will disappear? What will happen? Last week I was at the conference, ethics conference, which gathers producers and there were producers of wool, styrofoam producers. I was talking with the producers of styrofoam and we talked about this supply chain problem, and thermo insulation producers are doing everything they can so that clients won't feel these problems, won't suffer because of these problems. But of course, we need to look globally at this task, and Europe, in a time perspective, was too much dependent from supplies from Asia, and that's why today these supply chains are broken, disturbed. I think that this, of course, Asian supply should be continued, but the best way to conduct the business is to diversify. So we need to be base supply on Asian markets, but we also need to focus on the European suppliers. Because I'm not going to tell you that we have no problem, because this problem translates into the insulation product prices. Okay, we can think that until the end of this year we can manage the problem with the prices, but, well, we can always be surprised, and something new may be a challenge. It's not an easy time for the producers, because producers need to tell their clients that they have no product and no material, and this is the worst scenario for any producer, not only construction. In construction. Yeah, I would like to add that after the initial period of chaos that was on the construction market in Poland, I think that the situation has stabilized. Maybe it's not now good and satisfying for many investors or contractors, but still I think that everything requires planning. Don't forget about that, because planning in Poland in the past was worse than in the Western Poland, but now I think we even are better in terms of planning compared to the Western Europe. Many companies needed to overcome many different problems, and Polish companies did well. We supported the companies, and I'm happy that we could support them. Our products used at the construction sites and are used in Poland. And it changed the outlook of everything after COVID. Companies are now focusing more on e-commerce, logistic centers, warehouses, instead of, for example, shopping centers. Now shopping centers are not important. Something else is more important. So you provide bullets and someone else is shooting, right? I would like to add one more thing, that the great challenge it will be to keep up with the demand that is on the market. This is a great challenge for the producers. We are, of course, trying to meet our clients halfway. We've built a beautiful, wonderful plant in Wekroty. We will open the next line. We will open the next plant in the future. So we are following the trend, and we want to secure our clients in this increasing demand for hydro and thermo insulation materials in the European and global markets. Thank you for the discussion panel. I would like to thank our guest online, Mr. Artur Bednarski. I wish you all the best and good luck in building the force of the Polish roofers. Maybe Adam Małysz will join you, our Polish famous, the most, I think, famous Polish roofer. Yeah, Adam Małysz is with us. He's helping us. And he supports us. So thank you again. Artur Bodnarski was our guest, and we stay offline here and online with our participants that are listening to us and watching us online. So let's move to Q&A session, a question and answer. We have questions from our online viewers, but of course we encourage you to ask questions. Is there anyone that would like to ask our expert about perspectives, about anything?
W takim razie...
If not, no questions from the room, let's move on to online questions. One of them is wool or styrofoam? What is better to insulate your house? Well, I'm pretty sure I know your answers, and you're not going to be objective here. Each material has its own properties. Each of them is different. I think what I said about during my presentation is well, the quintessence of what I think about foam, wool. That it's comprehensive. Styrofoam can have better properties than wool, but not in all of those properties. Yeah, I think that both have their benefits, advantages. I think well, I would have to. I would have to say that both of these materials will compete with each other, but also they will have their own place in the coming time, because I think the need for thermal insulation will grow, and I'm convinced that both styrofoam and wool will work perfectly in this future. Another question. Your company is also famous for its membranes, thermal insulation membranes, to isolate roofs, for example. Flat roofs, sometimes green roofs, famous, well-known European trend. What is the potential for development of such construction in Poland? Well, PVC membrane is first and foremost used for large-scale roofs that facilitates and accelerates the work. Of course, we need to also take into account the load bearing of such building. The fast application is of key importance here, and benefit of the PVC membrane, I would say. But then let's say, traditional Poles also start using the single-family, the membrane in a single-family house. So our individual construction companies also start buying this membrane from us. So as we said before, the next step would be probably a PVC membrane plant in Poland. So we know what we do. We know that the demand for membranes will be growing, and we want to face the expectations of our clients. Not only, of course, providing for the domestic customers, but also in terms of our neighboring countries. Flat roofs covered by greenery is the future, right? Well, it is, I think. There is, I think, even a regulation that if you modernize a tall building or build a tall building, in order to cover the losses in water permeation, you need to add a green layer to it. Probably we had less chance to fly planes recently, but it's shown how when you start and when you land in bigger cities, you can see that more and more roofs have this green roof right now. It's not easy. You need to learn how to do it. But yes, our membrane is definitely writing into this trend of this modern building, modern construction. It can be friendly in terms of implementation costs. It can be, well, it's a modern material and it guarantees safety, which, well, is very important nowadays, of course, to all of us. So safety, quality is the direction we're going to be aiming for, and this shows the direction where the investors will also go to. And then housing developers also invest in green roofs very eagerly, because that makes these the last floors more attractive. They sell better. If you know, it makes this flat a lot more attractive and a lot more sellable. Another question, the market of modular house without any particular construction permits. How do you assess this segment? Will it be growing in importance in the coming years? I think modular construction is, again, promising. All the market regulations that include the strategy for future years say clearly that the digitization of construction, prefabrication in construction industry, striving to modular construction is going to be the future, and we need to take this into account. I wasn't familiar that you were going to. I didn't know that you will ask this question, but we will write about that. We'll write an article about that. I researched the industry quite recently then, and the industry has grown exponentially in the last 2 years. There is a growing interest because it's just tempting to build a house in a couple of days and then start living there. These houses are energy efficient. They have the noise protection, thermal protection, protection from humidity, and so on. So I think that would greatly reduce the costs of building your own house, and I think it's very futuristic. Let me just add here that I can only confirm everything that was said, that has been said. There are more and more companies like that, and I just wanted to add that a lot of these companies that has been on this market for many years, they have usually provided for the foreign markets. Right now, well, the trend continues, of course, and intensifies, but since there are more and more companies like that, we also experience and we also notice that more and more of the market share is located in the domestic market. I think this is one of the side effects of the pandemics as well. People locked in their houses, they started looking for an alternative to holidays, let's say, or to their house in the city center. So they're buying allotments, they're buying houses with gardens, or they are thinking about modular houses. Is there anyone else who would like to ask a question? There's one last surprise for our audience, so please display it now. These are questions. That I hope will be visible on screen in a moment. A quiz, actually. Do you think that the construction market fulfills the goals related to technology? Yes, no, I don't know. This quiz, of course, is dedicated to our online viewers, and we will get the results in a moment, at least the first question results, because there are more than one. Let's wait. Well, it's almost like a lottery right now. We need a couple of seconds to process the results. People are voting currently, so let us try to answer the question. Do you think that the construction market properly fulfills the environmental goals right now in Poland? Well, I think that we are at the beginning of the road in this respect. There were ISO certificates that stabilized and regulated that, but I think we still have a lot of room for improvement here. There will be increasing environmental fees, of course, coming from the EU. So again, we are at the beginning of the road, and I think there is a lot of challenges as well for the construction industry here. And I also agree, and I just need to add that through proper implementation, by investing in RES or any other subsidies, environmental subsidies, it is slowly being implemented, but also thanks to additional regulations we have in the construction law. So, for example, recycling of products is being favored. There are countries that even require, not favor, but require from the construction producers for the material to be 30% recyclable. And I think the whole philosophy of TechnoNICOL is also favoring that. Okay, hopefully the technical team can show the online viewers the results. And as you can see, majority of the answers is no. That Poland has not, so the Polish construction market is not fulfilling the requirements, and that confirms what I said. We are at the beginning of the road, and education is important. We not only should educate the final recipients, but all the other stakeholders that are in the middle of this path. Do you believe in costless, self-sustaining houses, zero energy houses, PV panels, hydroelectric power plants next to the house, and so on? Well, it's not the future, it is now. I see it, for example, in the Warsaw outskirts, that the consumers' awareness is increasing, and they implement these new eco-friendly solutions more and more often. PV panels on the roofs, water treatment plants near the houses, rainwater reservoirs that is then used to water the garden. A lot of examples like that, and I think our society is starting to be ready for that. Yeah, a dozen years ago, the goal in itself was to build so-called passive houses. Then we switched to the zero energy house concepts, and then the house of the future, I think, would be the plus energy or positive energy house, house that will be insulated perfectly, but will also generate energy for the house's purposes. I think that's the direction, and this is the future. I agree, but Ken Monroe mentioned that before, during his presentation, once people thought about electric cars, people now, if we ask our friends that my next car will be electric, and then the same goes for houses, I'm sure, but you don't switch houses as often as you switch cars, I think. So I think there's a couple of years has to pass. Okay, so thank you very much to all the speakers. Thank you to the audience. I would like to thank to the online viewers. We're happy to have you. I think the hybrid formula will stay with us in the coming years. So offline, online will merge permanently. Thank you for watching us, and we'll see each other soon at the opening of the new plant. Maybe not soon, but the construction works 10 million euros have already been invested in the plant. And I'm sure further funds will follow here into the Lower Silesia. Development and foreign investment is always a very, very important for local governments. So we would like to thank also the representatives of local governments for joining us. So again, thank you to all the members of the audience. A moment of break, and then we'll return. Thank you.